Hey everyone, welcome back to Strange True Stories. I am a real person. My name is Jeff. I'm always looking for things that are odd, unusual, spooky, scary, things that interest me. Today I have a fascinating yet creepy and frightening story for you. If you are the kind of person that freaks out when menacing, dangerous creatures are close, this story may be unnerving to you. You see, in Guam during the 1980s, their power grids kept exploding and needed to be replaced. Cities were being plunged into darkness over and over. Officials eventually uncovered the problem, a culprit that you would have never, ever guessed. What was it? The frequent outages were caused by an animal, a reptile, the brown tree snake. Today we're looking at one of the most bizarre and strange ecological disasters in history. The story of how one snake silenced a forest, silenced a town, and then tried to shut down humanity. To understand the blackout, we have to go back to the beginning, the end of World War II. Guam is a critical U.S. military hub. Ships are coming and going constantly from Papua New Guinea. Hidden deep inside the wheels of some of these airplanes, or tucked into crates of military surplus, was a stowaway, the brown tree snake. In its native form, it's just another snake. It has predators, it has limits, but in Guam was its paradise. Guam had no native snakes. This meant the local birds had never learned to look up into the trees with fear. They nested in the open trees and had no fears from above. They were sitting ducks. Well, sitting birds. They were the perfect prey. With an endless buffet of food and zero predators, the snake population didn't just grow, it exploded. Biologists estimate that at the peak of the infestation, there were up to 13,000 snakes per square mile in some forests. To put that into perspective, that's a higher density of snakes than the Amazon rainforest. It's hard for me to get a visual on stuff like that, so I did some quick math. 13,000 snakes in 1 square mile equates to over 26 snakes in the area the size of a football field. Is that scary or what? You walk for 100 yards and you've passed 26 snakes. And if you're wondering, yes, the brown tree snake is venomous. Of course it is. Imagine having to walk through the forest or down a sidewalk knowing there are venomous snakes all around, everywhere. But before the lights went out, something else happened. Something much creepier. The island went quiet. This is what biologists call the silent forest. Yep, real thing. By the 1980s, the snakes had eaten their way through the island's wildlife. 10 out of 12 native bird species were gone, extinct. Imagine walking through the jungle, a jungle where you're used to hearing sounds, but now there's nothing. No chirps, no rustling, just the wind, and probably thousands of eyes above you looking down. Now here's where the story turns into an ultimate scary disaster movie. The snakes ran out of birds. They ran out of things to eat. They were starving. Since these snakes are climbers by nature, they started climbing the tallest things around, telephone poles. The brown tree snake can grow up to 10 feet long, and when a snake that long stretches across a power line and touches a grounded wire, guess what happens? It creates a massive short circuit. Now get this, that didn't happen just once or twice. Between 1978 and 1997, it happened over 1,600 times. Now, is that crazy or what? This works out to be an average of one major blackout every 4 days in Guam. The cost estimated the snakes caused over $4.5 million in damage to the electrical grid. And that's not 1 year, that's every year. Every single year, the snakes were causing $4 to $5 million in damage. Wow. So crews would rush out to fix the line, only to find the charred remains of a snake fried to the transformer. They installed snake guards, but the snakes climbed over them. They built fences, the snakes went right through the fences. Humans were losing the war. Then the US government discovered a strange weakness. It wasn't a high-tech laser, it wasn't a biological virus, it was Tylenol. Tylenol, aspirin. Hey, didn't humans have a scare with Tylenol a few decades ago? Somebody replaced a few pills with others containing cyanide. Some people died, and this is why everything now has light aluminum foil seals. Scientists found that acetaminophen, the stuff in Tylenol, is fatally toxic to brown tree snakes. Just 80 milligrams is enough to shut down their system. Awesome, right? Well, there's good news and bad news. Good news is that we know how to kill the snakes. We give them aspirin. The bad news, how the hell do you get thousands of snakes in the top of the trees to take a pill? Yeah, think about that for a second. How the heck would you force thousands and thousands of snakes to take a pill? So how could you possibly get Tylenol inside of a brown tree snake? Here it is. The solution, we give the aspirin to mice and then let the snakes eat the mice. How do you get the mice to the snakes? Well, they built tiny parachutes. Yeah, makes sense, right? I mean, what else would you do? And I'm not making that up. In 2013, the USDA launched Operation Mousetrap. They took dead mice, pumped them full of acetaminophen, attached them to cardboard streamers, and then threw them out of helicopters. Why the streamers? The streamers were designed to get caught up high in the branches, right where the snakes hang out. It was serious chemical warfare, using headache medicine and dead rodents. Gross and disgusting, right? Did it work? Well, partially. The snake population has dropped, and new snake-proof power grids have kept the lights on. But the silent forest remains silent. The birds have not returned. It's a permanent reminder of how fragile our world is. So one mistake in 1950, a loose snake or two escaped and changed an entire island forever. So because I'm a real human and not AI, I make mistakes. You can hear some of them next. Thanks for listening, everyone. Please consider subscribing as I'm trying to reach a goal of 500 subscriptions. Catch you on the next one. But the silent remains forest. What the fuck did I just say? One mistake in 1950. A loose snake or two. One mistake in 1950. A loose snake or two had... God damn it. I'm having so much trouble today. One mistake in 1950. So one mistake in 1950. A loose snake or two escaped and changed an entire island forever.